Okay, I got that all welded up now. So I tried to make it look like it belongs in there a little bit. I think I missed just a little bit right there in the weld, but no big deal. So, got all the pile back over there. So here I try to fill it up like there's a fillet in there. And also weld the dowel pin all in there in the bottom. I have like a little bead going across here, and then I filled in from the top also. So kind of looks like it belongs there. See how it works really good there. Okay, so now I got to take this, throw some paint on this. I got to pull the top tree off, put grease on this thing like you need to be, put the correct bearings on it, and the trees will be in there for real. I'll try to adjust them for the actual real tension. Yeah, that's not too much to do. All right. Try to get at least one thing done today. Get a front end on a bike. Or at least of trees. I still gotta make the legs yet, so we're way behind on doing that part. My finger back. They didn't want to give me my finger back. Okay, pull this off. Yeah, I just pulled this out. Just more weight hanging in the way. All right. I'm actually going to use masking tape for once. I like my crappy ass finish in my cup there, so I want to keep it. I rarely tape off anything, as you can probably know in my videos. Alright, I don't care about the rest of it. I'm going to touch up the frame here where I painted on it. Okay. So when you paint something, first thing you got to do is you got to figure out how you're going to use a can of paint. Some people don't know how to use paint. So, first thing you do is just squirt it to make sure it comes out the right direction. You know exactly where it's going to come out when you squirt it. Anything like that. Got a little bit on the bolt up high there, but yeah, wipe it off. Come over here, shoot this side. There you go. Good as new. I got a little overspray on the bolt right there. Whoopie-doo. Okay, the rest of it looks good. Should dry. It's not too awful cold. Yeah, a little bit. Not too bad. So take our nice oily rag. Get that. Try not to get the top side of that. Okay, so that looks good. I can live with that. Pull that off. We're good to go. No quicker than powder coating and every other damn coating we do around here. It's hard to beat a good shake can of paint for getting work done. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this all cleaned out in here. Put some new grease in there. Let's get this thing together. Bottom is already lubricated. Where's the new bearing at? Okay, this is the new bearing. So we got to grease up the new bearing. Here's the new grease. Some people want to know where this came from. What the hell's the name of this thing? Squeeze. Easy squeeze. What kind of a name is that for a greaser? Oh well, they're the ones that made the damn thing. That's from the 90s, so I don't know if it's available anymore. Still works. Didn't do nothing. Push harder. Yeah, that works better. See, it squirts grease up through the rollers real nice. That's a lot easier than doing it in your hand. Okay, there we go. Take the grease, move up the bearing with it. Some of that might be in the video, some might not be. It'll be up there. Put the grease up there pretty soon. So you don't need any more than just what you're putting right here. Nice even coat on it. See, it's dry right here. So some right there. Okay, that one's lubed up. Now you get a little bit up here in the cup. A nice coat all the way around the whole thing. Put the bearing in there. Squish everywhere. Wipe your fingers off on the part. Okay. So now it looks like that. So which is plenty. If you want, you can put a little smear on the top just to make sure you get a little extra on there. Don't need much. Take a little bit off my tool here. Get some more sitting right here in the tool right here. And that'll be enough to finish it. Okay, now you just take a coat of this and go across the bearing like that. This is more than sufficient, believe me. 50% of this will never see any action. Alright, that's all you need of that. Just wipe off the excess back in the container over there. And that's what it looks like. Dirty rag out. Yeah. Grease off my fingers. Alright. Clean that hands off again. They're all full of crap again. Keep the grease off your hands and oils and stuff, and you don't make the rest of your tools dirty. Okay, so now it looks like that. When you shove the fork through, it'll put grease on the threads, which will keep them from rusting. That'll take care of that problem. Okay, I'm not sure if you've seen much of this. Probably not. Get rid of the easy squeeze here. Alright. So we're going to shove this on. We got the dust shield go on top. The bearing's going to want to pull up on us. Right there. A little bit of grease on our finger here, so I'm going to put a little bit on the inside threads, so that'll be lubricated in there. The outside's already got some on it. There we go. What do I do with my nut and the head? Got this nut. A little bit dirtier nut than the other one. Keep the clean one here for Fred's bike. Actually, it'll probably wind up on that bike over there. Yeah, I'm going to steal it. I'm going to put a good one on my bike. Screw it. This one's made different. It's got a lot taller section to it here. See, this one didn't have a very tall cross section to it. This one is a real tall one. I wonder if that's going to fit. Is that the one we machined down? Oh, that's the one we cut down. I don't remember, see. I mean, we got to put a little bit of grease on there to keep it from rusting. I'm using a triple tree to torque it, hold the nut, torque. There, it's starting to get tight now. It starts hurting your fingers pretty quickly. Take a little bit of grease and put it around here so it don't rust. This is normally not something that gets greased, but I don't want it to rust, and I didn't paint it, so it doesn't hurt to put a little grease on it. He's going to be thinking ahead. Okay. I need a little bit of torque on this thing. Now when you tighten this one down, it will tighten this bearing automatically. But I want some torque on this thing. Okay, where's my crowd tools at? Missing in action. Figures. Around here somewhere. Oh, there they are. Right in front of me. Okay, so we just take the channel locks. I just put a little bit of torque on it here. That ought to be enough. So you got drag on it. Quite a bit of drag. So when you torque the other nut, it's going to push this nut down, which is going to push the threads down, which makes this tighter. So loosen it up just a little bit. That'll be good. Okay, I'm gonna put a top tree on it and our nut. Okay, so that was unexpected. So the two nuts now are hitting each other. So as you tighten this one up, you can tighten the lower one up. Yeah, it's not exactly how I prefer it to be. See, this one's a lot lower. Probably eliminates that problem. Yeah. So you put a regular hex nut on this, this is better, but when you run a double nut on here like this, it doesn't work. So this here goes on that. See how much, we only have that much room in there. This one here that we mocked it up with before, see how low that is? It's lower than this. When you put the two together like this, the tree will be tight, which is what we want it to be. So this is probably more of an original one here. This is more of a modern one here. It's definitely for one that does not use a steering damper. Alright, so I can take this all back off again. Not all of it, let's take the nut off. Do a nut swap. Yeah, this would be great if you're just running a hex nut on top. Gives you good support. Just not for this application. This is the only one for this application. So it's one more thing I gotta remember now when I'm looking for nuts. You got low ones, there's tall ones. Two different applications. The reason I'm doing all this work is because this thing shakes its head bad at the drag strip last time I ran it. We're putting a bunch of new parts on here. I think the tire was the problem. That's already gone, but just to make sure we're doing it all, we're putting all the goodies on this thing. And if I land speed race it, I have to have a steering damper, so I have to have one on there. Anyway, for drag race you don't have to, but for land speed racing you do. So this sets me up for that too. Ah, that hurts my fingers. So you gotta think ahead to every application you're gonna use your bike for. Once you got a tight spot, yep. There we go, starting to get tight. It's always best to over torque it and come back. That way you know everything's squeezed together correctly. A lot of times you get a false tight. We get torque on it now a little bit. It's wearing in though, so. For racing, I run my next bearings a little tight. I want to make sure there's no play in anything. Okay. Street bike, I'd run it just a tick loose, doing what that is right now, but for my application, I think I'll leave it at that. We'll see. Remember, I might have to move that a little bit to make it line up with this on the top. Probably should have to see where it was at. One of these 3 holes should line up, hopefully. Who knows? Okay. Put our fork legs back here to hold the tree where it belongs. Now, we're not using these, so this is just for assembly purposes. Probably only really need one, but we'll put them both in there just to make sure everything's square. You know, so I'm not jamming screwdrivers and punches and everything and beating everything with a big ass hammer. That's because I made sure everything was good before I put it together. Plus these were a nice set of trees, they weren't all screwed up already. Okay, now to torque this nut down you need a big driver like this. Now, you can either try to hold the front end and torque it, or you let the frame do the work for you. There, that's half the job done. It's always good to make your bike help you wherever you can. This one's not quite wide enough, but it's going in there. It's not too tight. It's kind of a little loose for me. More. It's not really getting tighter per se on the bearings. Alright, so that's a little bit on the loose side, I think. Okay, I got to figure out where this thing's going to line up at, so get an idea where it's at right now. Can't be there. Okay, it looks like we can be in the center hole. Oh, geez, it fell right in. Look at that. How'd that happen? I'm beating on them things with a big hammer. Too bad that's a little bit loose for what I want. Damn, I don't like that positioning. It's just looser than I like it being. For a race bike. That's good for a street bike. So when you put more weight on this, it'll fall easier, but that's a little too loose for me. And we have new bearings in here too, which are going to break in. I had a wider bit somewhere, but I didn't see it. All right. Well, that worked really good, except I can't use it. Damn. Put the notch going dead center on the front, so I should be able to use this whole center when I tighten it enough on top. Hopefully it'll come out that way. We'll find out. So I'm hoping that's where it comes in at. It's a lot easier to pull your legs out to do that than screw around fighting it. One thing you'll learn When is it worth taking a little extra time to take something apart to make it easy to work on it, or fight it? In the real world, it didn't take me more than about 2 minutes extra time, but I probably saved 5 minutes in struggle time. Getting here with a chisel, knocking on it, you don't know where it is, you can't see anything. It doesn't help you any. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up now. Okay, we're starting to get tight. That is twice as tight as it was. Okay, now if we're lucky, this will be close to center. Ooh, that is so close. Didn't fall in this time though, but see how the pin is right there. It's trying to go in the hole, but see, it's just not quite there. Need just a little bit more torque to make it drop in the hole. And like I said, the other one should be right under it, hopefully. I probably should have looked to make sure that was there before I did that. It looks like it's there. I hope. Find out in a minute. So we purely just lucked out the first time. So we don't need much here. We need just a skosh more. I think it moved. Look at that. See, planning to make things work. Okay, we're a little bit drag on there. It didn't fall in just right to the bottom, but it's pretty close to it. Yeah, we're in there. Where's my hammer at? Yep. Okay, that's locked in. See, it's even on both sides. That's plus. Okay, that'll be good for my race bike. All right, I think I like that. Okay, where's all our parts at? Okay, we gotta pick the ones we're gonna use here. Okay, I think I was using one of these that had a rough thing. Okay, that doesn't have a thing on it. So this is it here, because one of one's got the chingus on it. Okay, we already got that lower piece in, so this one goes in like this. Look at that, it fell right on there. See how nice that goes right on there? Good. That's why you weld it on when it's there. Keeps it together. Okay, here you got that clearance. Okay, that has to come out because that is looseness. Okay, that looseness, that translates to movement back and forth here. So what I do is I hit it with a hammer. Bang, bang, bang on it until it's tight. The bad part is it screws up the finish a little bit. Have to sacrifice finish to get tightness. Okay, so I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat on my vise over here. If I was smart, I would have left the dowel pins here so I could check it. But, oh well. Doesn't really bang it very well. Just slides. All right. Doesn't really give me a massive vote of confidence there in how tight it's going to be. That didn't make any difference. I didn't think it was going to make any difference. Okay, so we got to figure out a different way of doing this. Somehow we got to squeeze this without it sliding off. It's at an angle, so it's going to want to slide. So you have to kind of hold it in, then squeeze it. So maybe I can do, I'm not sure I'm going to do this. I know what I can do. I can hold it in the hydraulic press, put pressure on it, tap, tap. This won't move very much. I can do that. That'll work. So you just have to think of a way of doing it. Okay, so I'm going to give me one of these here, washers. Okay, the disadvantage of this is I got the fiber on here. I don't want to damage it. but it doesn't want to come off, so I'm going to have to deal with it. Okay, and we need to find a 3/8 dowel so I can check the fit too. Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're at the press. Got me a dowel pin so I can see what loose is. Okay. There. Put that where I can tap on it. Something nice and tall. Well, that ain't very good. A couple tons of pressure. Not doing much for me, just sliding. 3 tons of pressure. Still ain't doing a job. Starting to move now. 3.5 tons of pressure. Bingo. It'll be a tap-on fit now. That's perfect. Okay, so that's a nice snug fit. All right, back in a minute. Okay, we're back. Apart. Okay, freshly massaged part. Didn't really hurt the plating too much either, which is good. Okay, washer goes down for nylon or friction washer. Okay, now we're going to have to tap this down a little bit to go on top of here. Nice and snug. There you go. No rattle anymore. So there's a nice tight squeeze now, see? It doesn't move. Perfect. That's the way it should be. Oh, I know what I forgot to put on. Damn it. No, the tin cover goes around all this. Oh, we're good. We're good. I didn't screw up. Okay, here's another fiber washer. We got a nice steel washer going down. You have the rust side up, the clean side up. Put the clean side up. We got our spring. Now you want to make sure you use a Harley Davidson spring, not the stupid one that comes in those kits, because they're not heat treated. These are actually a spring. They vibrate, they move. Put tension on something. The other one's for looks, cosmetic only. This spring right here is a joke. It just bends out, doesn't do anything. See how I bend it out? See how it stays bent? If it bent out too far, bend it back like that. See how it stays put? It's not a spring. Not a very good one. Okay, this cover here I don't have right now. I'm going to leave it off. Looks good without it anyway. And I got this big ass spring and it's way too big for anything. That goes in the middle. That keeps this from vibrating and rattling. If you got tension on it, it doesn't rattle. As long as you are using it, you're golden. Okay, what's that stupid ass chrome piece of crap I don't like? That'd be this thing right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little more grease on this to make sure it's glued up. So I'm only doing that for corrosion. And it also makes it nice and easy to move when it's got lube on it, because I will be using it. This is not for show, it is for use. Okay, now you have a shoulder right here that pushes on the spring puts pressure on that. That's how it works. So unless this thing bottoms out or something, it should go right over, it should go right down and put pressure on it. As you watch the spring spread out a little bit, you know there's tension on it. There's tension on it now. So, like I said, as I put tension on, you watch that foot move out. See how it moves out? Gets tension on it. The stronger the spring, the more tension you get. That's about maximum tension. See how much it moves? See, you got tension on it. See? And we have no dead spot because this is tight on the pin. Now if you take this and unscrew it a little bit, see how it gets easier? Still got tension on it, but not as much. Okay, if I let the tension off, it goes back to like it was, see? So we're going to put a little bit of tension on it. There, tension, I like that. That's a good amount of tension. All right, so that's how those work. You want your bike to have tension on it. It's got tension on it now. Okay, there you go. That's how you do it. Okay, so now I got to find my cowling. Somewhere I got a new set of stainless cowling to go on this thing. The risers are down here. You got to put the cowling on before you put the risers on it. So we have to go on. These are reproduction piles of crap, rubber mounted. I can't find my original stuff, so I'm going to use them. I got my racing drag bars here. My drag racing bars. What was that? What the hell happened there? Huh. Some kind of corrosion thing going on there. That's weird. Have to do something about that. Now these take wiring through here and switches, which I have to put on. I might have to put a little bit of paint right there. I don't know why it's all corroded. Wish I saw that earlier. I could have fixed it. Well, I can fix it tonight. I'll put a little bit of black paint on it. I think I catch it too late. All right. So for drag race, you need to have an on-off switch, positive on-off switch for drag racing. They kind of like it to be on the handlebar. Land speed racing, you definitely have to have a one up on there. But for me, all I need is I'll use this switch for now. It's antique drags. I don't care about being all the fancy safety crap. So I'm not gonna wire this right now. I'll wire them later. So anyway, so that's what we're gonna do on this. It's all set up to put together if I have my covers. So I guess I'll go hunt down some covers. And I got to rebuild the sliders, which are, there's a set there, and there's a bunch of sets out there in the other room. All right, what else do we got going? Get the headlight together. Yeah, I didn't get much done today. I got my trees on the bike. That's a lot. I'm happy, and I got my dampener. I'm really happy about that, so that's good. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna go find my cowling, so I might come back or I might not.